how big has it been to be replacing such a veteran secondary with guys that have produced at other places already?
It's really good. Anytime you get the opportunity to attract other student athletes that have played and bring a wealth of experience to our team, it's beneficial. Very beneficial to the younger guys who haven't played, that they get to have those movies that those guys have experienced.
When you look at a guy like Keith Abney, you had him his whole career here, what he's doing now, great reviews out of Detroit. Your thoughts on him?
I talk to Coach Shep, who's the defensive coordinator, all the time, and he tells me Keith is just such a hard worker. He's a guy that loves football, and I'm sure he's living out his dream. And so when he walked in here to Arizona State and treated it like it was a blue blood and smiled every day in the building, the same thing is happening in Detroit. He just loves being a part of that program.
What have you made of the progress that Decoin Dawn has shown since the spring, but also since the start of the fall?
Yeah, I think Decoin Dawn, the ceiling for him is the sky. The sky is the limit for that kid. I feel like he's probably the most talented freshman cornerback that we brought in to date in Kenny's regime here at Arizona State. I mean, he has ball skills. If he sees the flash of the ball, he's able to go get the football. Shout out to his high school coach playing at Richardson Berkner, where he played quarterback, where he played receiver. He's just a total athlete, and he has a lot of juice off the field with his antics in the locker room.
These corners that you got that looks like they're going to start, they've been pretty good this camp.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like camp is over, but our standard isn't. And I feel like those guys have tunnel vision towards the season. I mean, you can have a really good football camp, but when the season starts and bullets start flying, that's what really matters. So I feel like Stamps, who brings a wealth of experience, is zealous for his opportunity, have not played as much as he would like to last year, and so is Rodney. Last year, he got to see a lot of those movies, and he hasn't been playing. So those two guys are very locked in to leave 12 opportunities on the field in a couple of weeks.
Ashton being from Louisiana, how does he kind of acclimate to being in a new place for the first time?
I would shout out to Roman Petrie, shout out to Albert Smith, guys that happen to help in his roster, also from the boot, that have made him comfortable as well. Coach Mead's done a great job in the corner room as far as making it a brotherhood with all these new faces in. So you often see all of these guys kind of clicked up and hanging out with each other since January.
How much of an impact do you feel like Coach Mead has made since he's joined the staff?
Coach Mead is unbelievable. I mean, Coach Mead is somebody I always had respect for. So finally getting to work with him and being in the building and kind of pick his brain, you realize why that guy's so great. You realize why he has sent a lot of guys to the league. And I mean, we're maybe an off-season away from Christian Gonzalez probably signing the richest contract in NFL history for a cornerback. That's something that helps put more gas in our engine, and we're able to market other high school players or other portal prospects to Arizona State.
So that helps in recruiting and just that whole thing as well?
Absolutely, because a lot of kids nowadays, they have a little name recognition when it comes to the cornerback world, and I would say, Christian Gonzalez is probably in tier 1 as far as notoriety of professional cornerbacks in the NFL.
Speaking of Ashton, you spoke about how the offensive stuff is on the AFC so pretty good. What do you remember about your first Ashton?
I mean, Ashton was a guy that really loves football. Coming from a small town in Louisiana, stuff happens in college football, and a lot of guys, like I said all the time, talent is everywhere, opportunity isn't. Ashton came here for the opportunity that Keith, vacated at Arizona State. And the plan for him is to just follow in those footsteps. He has 12 opportunities to achieve, all of his dreams. And I feel like he'll get that. I feel like he's getting poured in, and he doesn't have to look over his shoulder. Right now, he's right in the lane that he envisioned himself when he went to college. And I'm happy that we're able to provide that lane to Ashton.
How cool has it been to see what Keith has done with the Lions already? And there was a report the other day that said he was already taking first-team reps. Just how cool is it just to see him in that position?
I told people Keith Abney is a dreamer. Making it to the NFL is not enough for Keith Abney. He's going to want to be a Pro Bowler. He's going to want to be All-Pro. He's going to want that jersey retired. Whether that's 28 or he changes his number in a few weeks when that roster is finalized. But Keith Abney is a dreamer. He's not going to stop dreaming. And if he becomes a Pro Bowler, he's going to want to be an All-Pro. If he becomes an All-Pro, he's going to want to be a Hall of Famer. That's just how his mind is set up. So I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. I mean, that's who Keith Abney is.
Being that he is a dreamer, how can you kind of use Keith as an example for these younger guys like Dequan and Rodney on the come up to kind of point to a guy that you can point to as an example?
Yeah, we said it's not just like a slogan that's on the wall, but through this game you can change your life. We get an opportunity to play a game on Saturdays that can change the trajectory of your family and what your last name means forever. I don't think that's something that we as coaches take lightly, and when the player doesn't take that likely, I mean, it's incredible what can happen. For example, Lyric Rawls, we're at Camp T, we're around the campfire, and they're asking him what is football to him. And Lyric Rawls said, you know, football means everything to him. He's able to bless his family through this game. And he looked at everybody around the campfire and he said, to my family, I'm Christmas, I'm the birthday, you know, I'm prom, I'm graduation, you know, suit and tie. You know, so he's wearing that weight on his shoulders of that responsibility. That's not going to be a guy that's going to mess around on Saturdays nor during the week about his opportunities. We only get 12 opportunities. These opportunities can change your life, change Scat's life, change Keyshawn Elliott's life, change Keith Abney's life. So this is a place where you can go from a nobody to somebody. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. So that's something that we're excited about, just being around these kids and giving them the environment for them to achieve their dreams. I mean, it's incredible to live this life.